Hey YouTube, trying a new camera. It's high def 1080p as opposed to using the front camera on my iPhone because it's just shitty quality. It's shitty quality. Wearing my awesome free T-shirt that I got because I'm lazy, and I just threw something on for you. I hope you like ON stuff. If you don't buy them. That's how you know I'm not being paid by them, because I wouldn't be able to say that otherwise. So let's talk about absolute versus relative strength, guys. So what the fuck is absolute strength and what's relative strength? So absolute strength is really simple. Absolute strength is the amount of weight that one individual can move, period. So let's take two individuals, one that's 200 pounds and one that's 300 pounds. The 200-pound guy benches 300 pounds. The 300-pound guy benches 305 pounds. By the laws of absolute strength, the 300-pound guy is stronger because he's lifting 5 more pounds. See how that is? Absolute numbers, absolute strength. So despite the fact there's 100 pounds between them, by absolute strength, that 300-pound guy is stronger, right? Because he's moving 5 more pounds. Kind of makes sense. You're like, well, sure, I guess technically that's stronger. But that's why nobody uses absolute strength as a marker for weight moved, right? That's why when you look at like powerlifting and whatnot, it goes by relative strength. And there's Wilks scores, there's the Grossman equation. There's been so many ways of trying to figure out relative strength with regards to lifting. So what's relative strength? Well, it makes a lot more sense. It's weight moved relative to your body weight. So when you look at that 200-pound guy who's benching 300 and that 300-pound guy that's benching 305, you know, by absolute strength he's stronger, but he's really not that strong if you think about it. He's basically benching his body weight, whereas that guy who's 200 pounds is benching 1.5 times his body weight. Motherfucker's a lot more strong, isn't he, relative to his body weight? So that's why we use relative strength when it comes to figuring stuff out. So the next time somebody turns around and they're like, oh yeah, bro, I deadlift 400 pounds. And you're like, yeah, but you're 280. And I'm like 150 deadlifting 300. Little bit of a difference here, right? So that's why you got like Wilks calculators and whatnot that are used by most international powerlifting federations, because it's an equalizer. It's a way of taking relative strength and comparing across the board, so that when you have like, say, a super heavyweight competing at 340 pounds and a lightweight who's competing at 140 pounds, and you get the Wilks scores broken down and they have like an overall best lifter, that 140-pound guy who, despite the fact that he, by the amount of weight, the absolute amount of weight moved, would be so much less than that 340-pound lifter, his Wilks score might be higher. So he's the best powerlifter overall of that competition. So you guys get how absolute versus relative doesn't need to be a long video. Absolute strength is just the number that's moved, but it's a really shitty indicator of strength, right? I mean, you turn around and say like an ant versus a human being. You know, obviously we can move more weight, absolute weight, than an ant, but by relative strength, an ant can carry 20 times its body weight. I'm 215, 216. There's no way I'm carrying 20 pounds of my body weight any distance, but ants, relative to their body weight, can carry that for miles. So relative strength-wise, ants kick the shit out of us. That's why we don't let them in powerlifting competitions, because they would obliterate us. Can an ant bench? And having said that, if it could bench, which set of arms would it use? Are they legs? What are they? I'm not a bug person. I don't know. Anyways, questions, comments down below, guys. If you guys watch this, let me know how the camera works. I'm going to ask in my next video how the camera works too. It's high def, so I've apologized. This is probably a lot more visible than you want it to be, right? You're like, oh my god, I can see his face clearly now. Jesus. I don't know, let me know. Anyways, questions, comments down below, guys. And as always, eat like a bodybuilder and train like a powerlifter.